There we go. Is that too far away?
What?
It's
what too far away?
does feel a bit far away for us, and also I haven't got my glasses on, but kind of the framing looks better.
Will the mic pick us up from?
Oh yeah, it should do.
Distance?
Just don't whisper. I think it'll be okay. So here we are. We are talking about. We've got a cat sniffing the tripod. We're talking about episode 4 of Hawkeye, which we've just watched. We were meant to be at a pantomime. There was some kind of fuck up with tickets, and so our tickets didn't exist. So we came home and we watched Hawkeye instead. So yeah, it's weird. I felt like it packed a lot in this week, but at the same time, I don't have loads to say because it didn't. It was like this felt like more like character week, where it was time to focus on characters and relationships and Kate's obsession with them being a team and his absolute wanting to distance himself from that. There's something to do with the Rolex. I'm assuming the friend who's linked to it would be possibly the wife.
Well, no, because it was the wife that was tracking it. But I think we probably have to go back and watch. Presumably, it was from the Avengers, unless it's Nick Fury.
Well, wasn't it like a? I got the impression.
Some kind of transmitter thing.
Yeah, but I got the impression that the whole point of him wanting to get it back was because someone's identity is basically at risk if this is in the wrong hands. Like, so somebody would find out, the baddies would find out who somebody was, which is why I jumped to his wife.
But they seem to already know.
But they seem well. You know, they know they've got a name, but they don't have anything else.
Yeah, I never got the impression the watch was connected to him in any way.
Right. Okay. Oh god, I'm suddenly yawning. So yeah, so that was cool. Some nice set pieces again, some really nice action pieces. Still kind of not really clear. It stayed away from the mystery of Jack and the mother, apart from that'll be all Joseph, thank you. Apart from obviously confirming he's head of the tracksuit gang or whatever they're called.
Well, he's head of a company that's a front for them.
Yeah.
So he's basically, at the moment, it sounds like he's probably a bit like like you get in a lot of organised crime. He's heading up the legitimate face of it, so things like money laundering, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So we still don't necessarily know just how immersed, how mired he is within the actual tracksuit mafia itself.
Yeah. Okay.
But given he's the CEO of a company that appears to be a front for the tracksuit mafia, he probably knows more than he's letting on. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say so. Obviously, Clint has got the Ronin sword back.
Oh, is that what he actually picked it? Oh, I didn't.
Yeah, that's what he had then in the elevator.
Right.
So you looked over at it and you saw him in the elevator, but with it like all folded into its handle.
Right.
Lightsabered up and shit. So yeah. So it's kind of weird. It didn't. There weren't, apart from the end, which I was about to get to, not massive plot advances or plot beats this week. It didn't feel like, but it just felt like a really nice written episode that served the characters well, while they take a break take a breath, obviously, before we get all of the setup next week and the finale the week after. So I'm guessing it was just like a little pause for breath before it's like that for a fortnight, ramping up to the very end.
But like you said, it still actually felt like it was actually, even with it being a character piece, for me, it still felt like it was moving the story along.
Yeah.
Which is a difficult thing, I think, to achieve, because there are so many sort of like shows and whatnot that do character sets, and they do them very well, but they act almost like a brake, or as in like sort of car brake as opposed to brake. Whereas this didn't. This kind of developed the characters, but still actually felt like it was progressing the story rather than going, and now let's take a step back.
Yeah. Previously on And then, of course, you had a very nice set piece at the end involving Maya and
Maya too,
and an unknown assailant that turned out to be I don't know her name.
Yelena Belova.
I'm the prettiest armadillo from that film. Yeah. Florence Pugh. Love Florence Pugh actually. Just
not in that
shame about
movie.
Midsommar. Just not. The script must have read really well. Yes. So again, tying into the Black Widow movie, in particular, as you rightly mentioned after the episode, the coda of
and
the.
reminded him.
Yeah. I've only seen it once. Of the Black Widow movie, where
So have I.
not Deanna Troi. What's her name?
What, Natasha Romanoff?
No,
Oh, the Contessa.
the Contessa. The Contessa de la Blubla.
Is it Julia Dreyfus?
I don't know. I used to be so good
Oh,
with the names.
Seinfeld.
And these days, just no. There was a time where I could have named like every actor, director, guest star of every episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation for all 7 seasons. These days, you can put the episode on. You're lucky. I know if I recognise Jean-Luc Picard in it.
Why are we suddenly talking about Star Trek? Was she ever in Star Trek?
No, I'm talking about how I used to be really good with names.
Okay.
And now I just can never remember names from one film to the next. Yeah, so that's just age for you, I'm afraid. So yes, so I've forgotten her name already, you just mentioned it.
The Contessa.
No, other one. Sister.
Oh, Yelena Belova.
So Yelena turned up. That was a nice surprise.
Not for Clint.
Well, yeah, not for the characters per se. But I did not see the guy. Even when they took the hood off and you got a flash of blonde hair and you straight away went, it was, oh, it's Yelena. And I was just like, the name didn't even ring a bell. I was like, and then obviously you saw her face and I was like, oh, it's her. I'm the prettiest armadillo. And then
went, who's that? Yelena. Who?
You see how this goes round in my house. So is that just a fleeting appearance? Will there be more of her? Seems a bit weird to have her in just for that tiny little moment. Or is it like one scene when she dovetails an episode, so we see her there, we see her for a bit for the next one, and then she's out of it?
I suppose we'll find out depending on what happens next week.
Yeah.
But I can see there being like some big 3/4/5-way battle for like the final episode, the way things seem to be coming together. I also think it's going to be, as we kind of, I think briefly talked about with the introduction to Maya for last week's episode, I absolutely fully expect that like the final episode of this is basically going to be one of the ones that is leaving those breadcrumb trails for
other things.
Yes.
Yeah. And incidentally, given this is episode 4 of 6, can I at this point just say, Doctor Who, this is how you do a 6-episode story arc. Because the Flux was such a bag of shit. I feel for the actors, because there was not a bad actor. No, genuinely, there wasn't a bad actor in that whole 6-part run. But sweet Lord, what the hell were they working with? But that's probably another video. So yes, we will be back next week. Actually, I don't know when we'll be back next week, because when is our usual Hawkeye night? We'll actually be doing a driving home review from the opening night of Spider-Man No Way Home. So look out for that next Wednesday. It is next Wednesday.
Is it next Wednesday?
Yeah, it isn't. Not that I'm on a countdown. So yeah.
It is, because it's the 8th today.
Yeah. So
Well, then again, but... Oh, is that when we're booked?
Yeah.
Ooh, it's a Thursday.
Oh, maybe it's Thursday. Oh, is it?
Well,
Actually, the 15th. It's on my phone, which is currently being the camera. I'll have to have a look. So, yes, look out next week for... there will be a Hawkeye review, but also Spider-Man No Way Home, which looks like it's going to be epic. So I'm not disappointed.